Now, today we're going to be looking at how we can actually map our domain name, right, to a DNS server. Now, this DNS server we're going to use for this lesson is that of Selar, right? So if you come to my Selar's page here, you can see that this is my Selar page, right? And if you come to the URL here, you can see that this is my URL, the URL that I actually registered, right? So the URL I'm talking about is the domain name I registered, right, in this platform called Namecheap. So Namecheap is a platform where you go and actually buy a domain name for your business, right? So if you have a business called tailor shop, right, you can, and you want an online presence, right, you can come to a service, right, or a website like Namecheap and actually purchase that URL that actually fits your business name, right? So if you come here, you can see that I actually bought a domain called techdealer.info. So the goal of this exercise, right, is to show you how you can actually map this name, right, this domain name, right, to a DNS server. Now, this DNS server can be from any popular website like Amazon, like Seller, right, or any other platform where you actually want to host your stuffs, right, like whatever you sell, but you don't have the funds to actually purchase a website or build a website, right? So this is going to show you how you can actually do that. So the first thing you need to do after you purchase it, right, is to come to a platform like Seller. So if you come to Seller, this is my like you said, this is my home page, right? This is my store page, and these are the courses currently that we have that we are actually selling, right? Now, if you're interested on knowing how you can actually do this, right, for businesses, right, you can purchase any of these courses here, and it will actually tell you, right, it's where the AWS Cloud Solutions Architect or the DevOps course, right, they will actually tell you what to do. So to begin, right, now let's imagine you have actually purchased your domain name, right, and you can see the name of my domain is techdealer.info. So I've purchased it, right, but I don't have the money to actually build a website, right? I want to actually use the website of another platform like Amazon, like Seller, right? But for this, we're going to use Seller. So what I will do, right, is to come to Seller here, right? This is my product here, right? So I'll click on this hamburger icon here. Then I'll come to settings here, right? I'll locate settings here. So this is settings, right? If you come to the hamburger icon here and you come down here, this is settings. So you click on settings, then you locate custom domain settings, right? So I'll click on custom domain settings. Now, if you come to custom domain settings here, right, you know that Seller has that option for you to actually use a custom your custom subdomain name, right? So what it will do, what's the only disadvantage is that even if your the name you want to actually use, right, is going to be present, it's going to come with that .seller.com, right? But Seller again now has another option for the custom domain. So what it means is that you can just use the address of your domain name, right? And why it's important is that in case you want to actually move, in case you want to actually your business grows and you want to actually create your own platform, right, customers can still remember you by your own domain name, right, instead of the subdomain name that Seller actually offers, right? Because if you eventually scale, and for example you're using techdealer.seller.info, for example, right? And customers now are now trying to search for us. They'll keep on searching for techdealer.seller.info, and they'll start having a wrong address, right? So that's why it's very important for you to actually um, merge your custom domain name, right? In any platform you're actually hosting your business stuffs, right? So and Seller, right, has that platform. So if you come here, you can see that under custom domain here, you can see that my domain is already connected, right? So for you to do this for your business, right, imagine you've actually purchased your domain name, right? So when you come to Seller, like you saw, right, and you click on that hamburger icon and you go to settings here, you click on the hamburger, right, and you come to settings here, you click on this custom domain and it brings you here, right? So when you come here, right, you click on this guide here. So if you click on this guide, let me open this on another tab. You'll see a documentation that Seller is telling you what you can actually use to do to actually help you to tag your domain to their own DNS servers, right? So if you come down here, you can see that Seller has IP addresses, right, for their DNS. So what it means is that you can actually map your domain, right? You can actually map your domain, right, to any of these DNS servers. So that what results is that if customers, right, now type techdealer.info, let me try it here. If they type techdealer.info, right, and they actually click on it, right, it takes them directly to your page, right? It takes you directly to your own page, right, instead of them typing techdealer .selar.info or whatever, right? It takes you directly to your page, right? And in the future, if you actually migrate from Seller, right, to your own website, right, they will be able to actually still use that domain that they actually remember, right? So that is why it's very, very important for you to actually do this, right? So while this is loading, right, I'll come here and I'll come to documentation, right? And so what you need to do is that you're going to map your domain name, right, with any of these DNS IPv4 addresses here, right? So when you do that, you come here and you come to your domain here, right? Then when you come to domain here, you come to advanced DNS here. So when you come to advanced DNS here, right, you can see I already have some records here that I've actually paired, right? And you can see that I have three records, A records here. You can see if you check this first record and you come to this here, you can see this is the DNS IPv4 address of Seller, right? If you come to this second one here, you can see I have the second one, and if you come here, you can see that that's the second one, and the third one I still have the same. So what it means that for that to actually exist, you can see that my store has actually come from just typing this my domain name, right? So what it actually means is that we need to actually do that for you so that you can actually be able to pair your domain name to the Selar DNS servers. So what you will do now, when you come to advanced, you come here, then you click on add new record. So when you add new record, you click on a record, right? So what the a record does is that it will actually map our own name, our domain name of our website to that of the DNS server IP of Seller, right? So when you come here, you can see that I already have here, right? So you come here and you choose a record. So a record, if you come to Google and ask Google what is a record, okay, what does the a record do? Let's just see what Google tell us, right? You can see that an A record, which is an address record, is the fundamental DNS record that maps a domain name or subdomain directly to a specific IPv4 address, right? If you don't have to actually bother yourself about all this, right? If you want to actually learn this further, you can actually come to Tech Dealer Consulting, right? And this course actually covers all this, right? So let's leave this. So what you will now do here is that you come here, right? You come to your domain here, this is your advanced here, right? Advanced DNS. Then you come here, choose a record. Then you are going to use the @, right? Then you now put you come here, then you copy one IPv4. Now don't copy with that, just copy with this. Control C it. Come back here, paste it here, right? Then you click on this, right? So when you do it, right, it's automatically now sync your domain name with this particular DNS server IPv4 address, right? So when you sync it, right, then you can do the same thing for other the other DNS servers here, the other DNS IPv4 addresses here. So you are going to have something like 3 DNS records here, right? So what it means that if customers now search for www.techdealer.info on their browser, right, it will take them directly to what we have here, right? Instead of actually doing all this using the subdomain name that actually has Seller, right? Because in the future, if you want to scale and actually want to use your own platform, it's very difficult for the customers you have built over time to be able to actually remember the exact domain name. So that's why the custom domain name is very, very important, right? It's very, very important. You can see that mine is connected. So when you do all that, right, just imagine you've actually done all this, you've actually paired all this, right? Then you click on this, right? So you should save the change, right? Now, after you save it, right, now remember that for you to add different records, right, you have to come here to click on add record. You put in the record you're putting, like you've seen this first one here. If you want to add another one, you come to add new record again until you actually map your domain to all the DNS servers that Seller has actually provided for you, right? So after you do that and you have actually saved it, right, the next thing you want to do now is to come back to Seller, right? Then you input your domain name. So your domain name might be ankarawest.com, might be chinedu.org, or whatever domain you have, right? So you put it here, right? Then when you come here will be connect domain, right? So you click on connect domain. So when you click on connect domain, then you save it, click on save. Make sure you click on this save button here. So when it's click on save, right, it will write something like domain connected, right? But let's check out. Let me type it here. DNS checker. You can see it, right? So if you just type it, it will take you to this, right? So when you come here, right, what we want to now check is that if our DNS is actually mapped to this IPv4 addresses here that was given by Selar, right? So we'll come here, then we'll type the name of your address. Now I can type the name of my domain name. So I'll say techdealer, which is here .info. So if I search it, now you can see that it is paired. You can see that it is paired. Now if you come and check this particular IP address, which is 52.210.244.99, and you come to Selar here, you can see it is their own DNS server, right? So when this has actually checked, yeah, then it means that it has actually been paired. But one factor you need to do is that you have to actually wait for the DNS to actually propagate. So when we say DNS propagation, what we try to say is that it will take time for DNS to actually the DNS servers, right, of Selar, right, or any platform you're actually using to be able to actually sync with that domain name. So it might take time. So immediately, if your customers try to type techdealer.info, right, they might not get any response because it has not actually propagated, right? So after it propagates, right, you can just wait for 48 hours or 24 hours, right? So after it propagates, and they now type your domain name, right, on their browser, like techdealer.info, for example, right, and they actually switch to that, then it opens the page, right? So this is how you can actually map your domain address for your organization, for your business, for your company, right, to the DNS servers of a platform like Selar, like Amazon, or whatever you're actually using to host whatever you have to offer to the world.